Hey friends, it's me, the Ebony Otaku, the well-rounded nerd, doing a little prep painting for a Bama Heresy event this weekend, playing Zone Mortalis. I'd already started the process of repainting my Totos Terminators. This is their captain. He is blingy big bling bling. Look at him. Move a light. Yeah, he blinged. And I like the way he looks, but it took a lot of layers of ink to get him to look this way. So I didn't want to do them all this way. That's why he gets to be the captain. It looks very Saved by the Bell, doesn't it? When my teacher Papa test and no I'm in a mess, and my dog ate all my homework last night. Charlie's not impressed. And then I've got these guys who I haven't done a ton to because I'm trying to like pull back and see like where color should be and whatnot. I'm trying to show restraint. So I thought I'd experiment with the teal on a couple of others, and I don't like it. I like it. So I'm probably gonna go back over those with black. But I only did it to two of them. I'm just looking at them going, no, that's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. But that's fine. I have plenty of time to be done with this little bit of painting. I also have these guys. My cacophony needed chorus masters, so I printed out some bases for these little dudes that we printed. He's got a guitar, and look at his jetpack. They're speakers. It's great. Those are speakers. Um, Obviously, I've got chorus masters from G Dubs, but we printed these because they kind of have this Mad Max look to them, and I was almost considering um, like hanging them from like rhinos playing guitar, like the whole Fury Road thing. But I need these for more than just Fury Roading, so they're going to go on bases, and I can always print some more to be on the rhinos in the future. And then the other thing is my jet bikes. If you remember these guys, these were Charles is only 3 years old. I mean, we've only had him for a few months, but he is definitely super bonded to me. And if he hears a noise, he is on high alert, which is what you want in a dog. The Bugman is doing Bugman stuff around the outside of the house. Like he's just like, who is this guy? And that's what you want. If I'm calm, he's calm, but he's not outside with the guys swatting, killing fire ant nest and hornet nests and stuff, and swatting down the spider webs. He doesn't know who that is, and you can't explain it to them. So yeah, it's he's just being a dog, and I love him for it. He's very protective of me, very. He's very friendly. But if he doesn't sense that I'm okay, he's not okay. He's a good boy, is what he is. Anywho, these have been painted in a very shiny pastel, much like these guys, but it's coming out differently at the scale than this scale. So I reprimed them, and these guys are primed in Muso Black. Good boy. Good boy. They're primed in the Muso Black. Um, and I really want to have a pink pop on them. Why don't you prime them in white? Because I want the undertone to be black. I want the underbellies to be black. So I'm going over the parts that are going to end up being pink with this fluorescent yellow as a base for the pink. This is AK's fluorescent yellow. I'm not going to use the fluorescent pink on top. There's a different pink I'm going to use. But on the color wheel, according to the, because you know she needs her color wheel. According to the color wheel, came over here to the pinks and the purples, right here, pinks and purples. And then I was like, what's going to be a good base? I had to swing this around. When we swing the pinks and purples around from over here to here, it's like, oh, these yellows and greens, those make good bases for the pinks and the purples. So we followed the color wheel. You're in a weird setup today. Sure am. Didn't feel like setting up the whole thing. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So I'm laying down the base on these, and I'll have these finished probably Thursday evening, honestly. Yeah, probably have these finished Thursday evening, But this is what we do. Y'all, Charles, um, in a week, and it's only Wednesday. I am somebody who is very much pro escapism, obviously. Uh, Life is hard. I mean, I'm not going to tell y'all my whole life story because that's not what this channel is about. We like to bring joy on this channel. Let's do fun things. Um, but life is hard. I've had hard times. I've had very hard times. Not gonna lie, times that I wish had never happened and that I could forget, but they did, and here I sit. And in our hard times, God has been gracious enough to grant us escapism. I think it is so important, especially as you go into adulthood, but all throughout our lives, to have things that get us out of the real world for a little bit. Why are all these adults painting their war dollies, assembling at game stores, and fighting mighty battles in miniature? Because for those 2, 3, 4 hours, we're not living real life. Because we all have jobs and everything else to go back to. Whatever you left at home is still there. But for those few hours, you're with your friends, you're eating snacks, you're going, ah! When the dice roll correctly, you're chatting about lore, you're having great debates over Lorgar, who was not wrong. It's a good time. You know, I get to go see Baby Metal in a month, which I'm so freaking excited about. And I'm going to visit a friend while I'm there. Me and a girlfriend are going to get together and hang out. Got a couple of other friends I'm going to get to see. Going to get to go see Transformers, the movie, in theaters. Like, oh, she has a Transformers shirt that's the Transformers logo, but it's half Decepticon, half Autobots. So she's going to wear one Decepticon Converse, one and an Autobot Converse. And I ordered some some Transformers socks. I've got the jewelry, the necklace with all of them on there that I put together. I got earrings. I am going to have a great time because it's escapism. And no, I'm not buying any of these dead Optimus Prime toys. I'm not interested. I do not want a dead Optimus Prime. Whoever, all y'all out here making no, no, no. It's too soon. It will always be too soon. I am someone who loves to curl up with a good book. And these days, it takes me a long time to get through books because I read for my job. I'm in corporate adult education. And I'm also in a master's program. So again, a lot of reading, a lot of writing. So my quiet brain doesn't always want to sit down and read a book anymore. When I was a kid, I could plow through a novel a day easily. And we're not talking little novels. I read my country's coming out. I read Great Expectations in like fifth grade. Um, and that was the first Charles Dickens book I ever read. And then I ended up reading everything Dickens wrote, everything, even the Pickwick Papers. I mean, everything, Oliver Twist, all of it. Very hard reads, but he very much wrote about the plight of children. He had a heart for the plight of children. His most famous work, A Christmas Carol, is would that be his most famous work? Or I guess it probably is. To me, Great Expectations is like my favorite work of his. But why does a kid need to read Great Expectations? One, because it's awesome. But the same reason you read Lord of the Rings, read those two, read Dune, and all of the rest of it. Um, I still have quite a collection of novels. I've pared down to ones I actually go back and revisit. A favorite genre of mine, I don't know how you classify this genre. It's definitely English lit, but I love works by very specifically female Chinese authors who write about the experiences of women throughout different periods of history in China. It's life unlike I've lived, and I find it fascinating. And I learn a lot from those perspectives. Like Amy Tan, An Chi, Min. Um, those are authors that I really take to. Um, and there's others who are Gail Tsukiyama. Love her. She's a Japanese author, but she wrote some really really powerful books. One that oh, who wrote Snowflower and the Secret Fan? She also wrote Lady Tan's Circle of Women. I'm reading a couple of other books from her right now, but I don't know why, but her name escapes me. But like books in that vein, love them, find them. The world is so different, and they're all based in reality. They're based in historical events that actually happened, so you really get sucked into it. It's like, oh, this is how the harem lived. My God, like it's a whole thing. And for that time that you're reading or playing the video game or watching the sporting event, whatever it is, you're not dealing with whatever's going on in life. I am pro escapism. And, especially as we get older, remember when you were a kid, and I've said this in training classes before, when you're a kid, we tell everyone to reach for the stars, dream big. You can do anything. And then you turn 25 and everyone's like, well, get your head out of the clouds. Put your feet on the ground. Be realistic. Well, which one is it? I'm confused. Which one is it? Should I reach for the stars and the clouds? Or should I be realistic? And honestly, it's a healthy balance of both. I'm being hyperbolic. But, you know, this week so far, knock on wood, we lost two of our icons who helped us with that escapism. Dolly Parton and Tim Curry. You can learn a lot about a person by how they were introduced to Tim Curry. I love that meme, but it's true. I wasn't born when Rocky Horror Picture Show came out. I didn't see it until I was in my 20s for the first time. And as I've mentioned, I'm originally from Nashville. Nashville, you can hear it in my accent sometimes come out. And all the southern accents are different, just like all the northern accents are different. You can tell the difference between somebody from Boston and somebody from Queens. They don't speak the same. And you can tell the difference between somebody from Nashville and somebody from Georgia, where we don't speak the same. And having moved since getting married, I'm still in the South, but when people hear me speak, they're like, "You're not from here. Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Nashville." Like, oh yeah. But I'm proud of where I'm from. I love being a Nashvilleian. Um, you know, but my first real memories of Tim Curry are actually um, Home Alone 2 and the Muppet Treasure Island. As a kid, you don't really as much recognize celebrities. Now, if it was a cartoon, I recognize them. I could tell you everything about every turtle. I could tell you everything about Sailor Moon and all her friends. I could tell you everything you wanted to know about every Transformer. Now, actual humans, I knew everything about Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, and Gonzo sure did. But people didn't know. But when you get older, and then you have these memories of these movies, these shows. I don't know an adult who once in a while is not singing working 9 to 5. I mean, come on, what an impact to see somebody like Dolly Parton, who was unapologetically herself for her whole life, big everything, so generous and altruistic, could have been a billionaire. Set up a reading program where she sends children. Her foundation sends free books to children every month to make sure children are reading. To see somebody like Tim Curry, who completely wrapped himself in every single role he was in, I appreciate people who dedicate their lives to providing joy, escapism, entertainment to the rest of us. Because rest assured, they have lives, and some of them have very hard lives or came from very hard circumstances. We see the end result. We're not there for the journey. It's very easy to look at people who have made it to a certain level of celebrity. I'm not talking about people who were born into a position or born into a family. That's a whole other discussion for a different day. But we're talking about people who worked their way up, who had talent, nurtured that talent, had the tenacity, kept going, got the deals, and then left legacies. We should all be so lucky to leave some kind of legacy. And if you're one of those people who is saddened by the loss of these icons, okay. Because the reason you're sad is not because you knew them, but it's because of what they represented in your life. They were people who intentionally put themselves in positions to provide entertainment, fun, so many people. And I appreciate it because when life gets hard, it's nice to have something to escape to. During the Great Depression, there was one industry that didn't fall off the rails. You know which one it was? Moving pictures, movie industry. Because when the farms dried up and work went away and people couldn't feed their families, and you were just so full of worry you thought you might explode, why not go sit in a cold movie house, drink a Coca Cola, and watch a little girl dance through Oz? Escapism. Why not watch the slapstick of three goofy brothers poking each other and whacking each other with everything? Why not listen to somebody play a piano while some of the greatest physical comedians to ever live entertain? The moving picture survived because people needed escape. And that's what these greats, these icons have provided and given their lives to. They have dedicated their lives to showing up for the world in a way that only people who sacrifice privacy and autonomy can do. And I honestly respect it. I, at one point, was going to pursue the path of becoming, someone who did theater for a living. I was engrossed in theater. I was a theater and English major my first round of college. I thought I was going to go to Broadway, the whole thing, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, I didn't. She's corporate and very happy, very, very happy with what I do. I love being in adult education. But the more I learned about the industry, I realized it wasn't for me. It's for some people, it's not for me. And unfortunately, it does destroy a lot of people. But then you get the ones who conquer the industry. You get the Dolly Partons who are themselves throughout. You get the Tim Currys who pour themselves into every role that they're in. You get the James Earl Joneses who have a voice that can't be forgotten. You get these bright lights, these moments of seeing into different worlds that are provided to us by people who dedicate themselves to art and craft. And I appreciate it because when we had hard times, when our light bills weren't getting paid, when food wasn't as abundant as it may be now, when relationships weren't working optimally, when all of these things were happening, you could curl up with a book. You could escape the Middle Earth and be with a hobbit on his greatest adventure. You could turn on your television and a little blonde girl with dumpling hair would find out she's a magical princess and then make a bunch of friends. Naoko Takeuchi, when she created Sailor Moon, um, said that when she was at her loneliest, um, that Sailor Moon and the girls she's friends was with, all the girls, the images of girls she wished she could have as friends. If she could design friends, that's who they'd be. Escapism. I know everyone has a different reaction when celebrities die, and there's always going to be people like, well, you didn't know them. Look, it's always sad when someone dies, first of all. It's always sad when people pass. Always. Um, but second of all, the reason people have a reaction is because these are people who dedicated their lives to the outward world. They presented a life that was meant to be visible. You know, they lived in the public eye. I'm trying to decide where the pink's going to go, which is where the base yellow is going to go. They lived visibly. They lived out loud. Everyone had privy into their lives in a way that you and I don't have people in our lives. You know, as much as I love doing this YouTube thing, if it reached a certain level where it got uncomfortable, I wouldn't do it anymore. I do this for fun. I have a job. My job pays my bills. YouTube ain't paying a single bill for me. This is purely for the ha-has. and building great community. And we have a great community on this channel. We have a great Discord. Everyone's a great artist. We have good conversation. If somebody gets negative and weird, I just delete them. I don't argue with people in the comments. I'm not about that life. um, you know, but when we have these people, these icons, these legends, these greatest of all time, who made it their business to entertain others, and then they take what they've earned and they do great things. They create foundations to send children books, to feed people, to clothe people. One, it's a reminder that I have to do the best with what I have. I'm not going to be a celebrity. I'm not going to make millions of dollars, but I am an adult educator. And when people come to class with me, they are going to leave feeling better because I'm going to do my darndest to work hard and understand what people need from a class with me. If they're having a rough time, if hitting the goals is harder than it should be, or whatever it is, I'm going to remind them that they're uniquely and wonderfully made. I'm going to make sure they understand that they were seen. I'm going to make sure they understand that they were heard, that this trainer cared, at least. That's what I do. And I do it on my scale. And when you think about the memories with some of this media that we enjoy, the songs, the movies, television shows, the books, they are memories. One of the things I always say as an educator, because I don't just teach adults, I'm a martial arts instructor and I've been a children's church teacher for a long time. I've taught a lot of kids, a lot of families. When you're somebody who teaches, when you're someone who entertains, you're automatically a memory in somebody's story. And if you do it right, it's going to be a good memory. My channel is not about my life. My channel is about nerdity. But I will tell you, I've had hard times. And I've been grateful for the icons out there who provided me with escapism. Thank you, Dick Van Dyke, for all the movies you made. Thank you, Lucille Ball, for being you. It's sad when we lose some of these greats because there's not going to be energy like theirs again because they were unique, just like you're unique. There's not going to be another you. And when you're not with us anymore, your world is going to be sad. The reason so many people have a reaction is because people like a Dolly Parton, like a James Earl Jones, like a Tim Curry, Leonard Nimoy, Robin Williams, like a Chadwick Boseman. Their reach was so great. So the way that you bring joy to people in your life, the way that you support your friends and family and they support you, the way that you tell jokes, maximize that, magnify it, bring it out to a much greater scale. That's why people are sad when it happens. And you may not need to hear it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's okay to have a sad reaction when someone you admire leaves this world. And it doesn't matter if they were the biggest celebrity or just that nice person that always said hi to you in the grocery store. Because what this reminds us is that we all have an opportunity while we're here to make an impact. Part of the reason I do this channel isn't just for the hee-hees and the ha-has of being a nerd, although that is a big part of it. I love being a nerd. I'm an out loud and proud nerd. Will never not be an out loud and proud nerd. But I enjoy having outlets to encourage people. Say, hey, I didn't know how to do this 2 years ago, and now I'm doing it, and I'm getting better at it every single day. I've made friends. I have a gaming community, and you can have that too. Or when I do talk about a little bit deeper topics, when I get into some books, to be able to provide that nerdy encouragement, you know, talking about nerd dating and friendships and stuff like that. That is the impact that I get to leave on the world. When I teach a martial arts class, I make sure that everyone who comes to my classes feels energized, that they're better than they were before, that they got a good workout, that they learned something, and that in the next class they can try harder, do better, be better. That's what I do. What do you do? What is the impact you're leaving on your part of the world? And make no mistake, whether your impact is in your group or your impact is to the macro, you're leaving an impact. You're someone's memory. I'm someone's memory. These icons who have left us, they're memories, left us good memories. And we're sad because we can't make any more memories with them. That's why we're sad when people who are close to us leave us. The time of making memories with them is past. And one day, the time of my people making memories with me will pass. Or their time of making memories with me will pass. What memories are you leaving? What kind of impact are you making? Are you leaving beautiful art behind for people to see? Are you leaving kind words? Are you leaving laughter, joy? As hard as life gets, I firmly believe in finding reasons to bring joy and be joyful. To do the things, to be the thing in this world that is needed. People need escapism. People need joy. People need smiles. I could have a channel talking about the tea and probably do very well. I could have a channel talking about hard-hitting topics and probably do very well. But it wouldn't make me smile. And it wouldn't make you smile. I choose to make this channel a place where people come to hobby out, nerd out, have spaces to talk about nerdy things, and enjoy our nerdy hobbies, whatever they may be, whether it falls into the Warhammer, the anime, the tabletop gaming, sports, gardening, which my garden's been neglected and I need to get out there. But remembering that I'm choosing to have an impact on this world. We're sad because those people had a positive impact on us. And we're not going to have memories with them anymore. But you know what? You and I still draw breath. You and I are here right now. You know what that means? In our communities, in the spaces we occupy, we can still have an impact and still make good memories. And we can be glad that we got to exist on this planet at the same time. Such amazing individuals who did so much for the world around them. I appreciate the music. I appreciate the laughter. I appreciate the memories. And I'm going to continue to endeavor to be a person that puts that out into the world. I have so much painting to do. I'll get back to my regular kind of Warhammer video next week. But how can you let such a week pass?